able to do without you, would be able to even seek a pleasure without you, because so that you could feel hate, anger, and there is actually a lot of uh, data about it that after breakups there is always violence, or that there is some sort of revenge. This is a very famous example is, for example, revenge porn or whatever, where men and women try to destroy this partner. So there is still felt hate, as well as the fear, of course, that this partner would then enjoy life in a way or without you, and you would be left back. So in that sense, you could say hate, and hate correlates. Fear and hate would be then in broken relationships. These people, they fear because of the others. They fear because their partners would be better off, and these bro, mm, broken relationships there, uh, there you could then see the correlation between fear and hate. But of course, if we think about it, this does not make really sense, because this would mean that those people who live in fulfilled relationships would be pretty much easy, or for them it would be easy to die. So, as well as, and we know of course a lot of issues where people actually seeked death, where they didn't want to live any longer because of a broken heart and so on. So this does not mean that someone who is already suffering, or someone who is already struggling with his love partner, that he or she would try to preserve his life, or even then will commit suicide, whatever. But of course, so this is about the relationship. Then, I mean, is this really, does a relationship in that sense lead to hate? I mean, this is what we would come out the closest, where we would see some sort of the bridge between fear and hate. And then of course we would have to ask further, why do we, why could we hate friends or even lovers? I mean, especially with friends, there are of course some, this happens many often. For example, you were close with someone, and then later you are not. So especially in our time with these Facebook friends and so on, so friendship be, became more loose and superficial. However, but let's think about friends and lovers and so on as well. I mean, we talked about a car as an extension of yourself. I mean, it is some sort of you are being so, and this would of course, I mean, this is what we forgot. I mean, but of course, when you think of a car, you would fear that it gets destroyed, that it gets destroyed in a way, whatever, and that it could be even stolen. I mean, and then you could probably hate the persons who stole it, who destroyed it, whatever they did it. So hateful, vengeful, and so on, because this car, and you could then say this car in that sense, when it was some sort of uh, representative for of your manhood, when this car was a symbol of your being, and then when it is stolen, when it is destroyed, whatever, then you do not feel verified anymore, that you do not feel as this man anymore, so that you are devoid of this pleasure, if you want, or that you are devoid of a social recognition, especially if this was a very expensive car. An expensive car comes with a perception, a social perception, that you would be worth wealthy, that you have money enough to spend, or waste. It is rather waste your money on these expensive goods, so that you are wealthy, that you're sophisticated, manly, you're the earner, and then it is stolen, it is broken, then you somehow are robbed of this and that. Again, you would not steal the car, or you would not hate the car. No, you would rather hate the persons or the object, whatever, which are destroyed it. And if we try to apply this to friends and lovers as well, I mean friends especially, friends to this very day, you make mostly friends with people with whom you grew up with. This is your social background. If you're poor, then you will most certainly meet people from this poor area. If you're from the middle class, more likely that you will meet people from the middle class because you socialize with them. I mean, this is where you live. I mean, if you live in a certain area, this has already a huge influence on you, especially if you go to school, you have the same interests and so on. I mean, this is like special sports. This is something you could see in sports. Which sport you watch or depends highly on which social background you have or what social background you have. For example, do you watch soccer or do you watch car races? Do you watch any other sports, skiing, skydiving, whatever? This has a lot to do with your social background. So in that sense, and as well as with your lovers. So it is way more likely that if you grow up in a special area or whatever that, or with a special social background, that you will most certainly have your choose your lover accordingly. This is some sort of in that sense. Of course, we will talk about this with desire as well, but in a poor neighborhood, you will not. You will rather choose someone whom you assume can manage his life or whatever. So it depends what you desire in a man, in a social background, as well as how he can manage issues. Sorry, issues or things within this social area. For example, if you're poor, I mean, whether this man or woman, especially their man, can earn money or whether he has a prospect and so on. This is what women will rather appreciate. However, this means that parents are, this means that friends or friends, lovers, whatever, they are some sort of extension of you. They reflect you. This is what people know as well, that your friends tell about your past and as well as about your future, because this is where you made them. This is what tells about them, and of course then you have the same interests as as them. And what would you fear, or what social fear would that be? What could be stolen from you? Not your value. If we try to compare this to the car was the value. It was stolen from you, and then you are robbed of your being or whatever. And this further we assumed would lead to hate, that you would hate the person who would steal you or who would probably steal you. And this is then in social relationships. How could we think like that? I mean, what value could you lose or what could be stolen from you? And this is, of course, your perception of or your identity, or to make it simple, that you could be ridiculed, that your interests, whatever they some sort of pose a value for you. You have a special taste in whatever it is, in cars, in house, whatever, and then it is being ridiculed. Imagine someone from the upper classes calls you plain or whatever, flashy, whatever it is, and this is some sort of hurtful. You feel slapped, you feel humiliated, but of course you cannot, in a way, escape them. This is part of your identity. So what is stolen from you is actually part of your identity or your self confidence, things you put value to. They are ridiculed. They are diminished. This is what you see for the social tensions. You always see this, especially when there are lootings or whatever. In general, so there of course, and this made then arouse hatred to those people who ridicule you, who undermine you, however, and then of course we have to think about fear as well. So that you in your social circle, whatever, of course you are never socialized all alone. So if you're poor, you assume or imagine what life would be if you would be wealthy. I mean, this is what uh, TV is for. This is something you see in the news media or whatever, and then, or at least if you have some thought and fear, you will fear that you in a society or whatever could be ridiculed as plain, whatever it is, as stupid, uh, uh, what have you, and this made fear. You might want to avoid these situations. You don't want to be among certain people, or you don't want to be in high society because you feel displaced, and then um, this high society, in a way or another, they either they openly undermine or diminish you, but as well as their existence undermines or diminishes you in that way, especially if you live in a society which defines itself through consume, and your status grows. The more things you buy, the more stuff you add on yourself. This is some sort of some sort of fetish, what's already known in Marxism, and as well as ego fetish through social media. So you could always see these people who was wearing all those stuffs either from other people, pretending to be them. However, so this has created some sort of a fetish. However, here we see it is indeed a social issue, as well as fear is not only about things, about things, or about a danger in the woods. So if you go in the woods, but as well as is in the society. And here again we have to ask why. I mean, why we some partially answered it. It is about your identity. It is about you being ridiculed, but as well as that we are all have connections and so on. I mean, if you come from a certain area or from a certain socio-economic background, then goods, money, whatever can be already an exclusion. This is we talked a little bit about privileges, especially financial privileges, which has nothing to do with racial privileges, or yeah, which is primarily about money. There you could be excluded from certain experiences whatsoever, and this then might lead to hate. But then we have to think about another issue here. Why hate? I mean, couldn't you go down a little bit and say, yeah, why just not aversion? Because this is what many people would say, yeah, if I don't have to be in this society, I could just avoid it. And this is a very interesting issue, and we will follow this the next time. This was Adam Kirbas from Ordu in this hot July day in the pandemic. I hope you all are doing fine and that you take care of yourself. Bye.